Matthew 8 for a few moments and take another look at the interaction between the Lord and this leper that approached him, as we looked at in our last talk. Last time we took a few minutes to observe how this leper had kissed the Son as he knelt before Jesus and asked for healing. We also noted that Jesus touched this leper against all social and health-related protocols. The result was the restoration of this social outcast to a healthy and vibrant community of God's people and the ability to feel again. Now, don't miss the implications of the process in this scene. The leper knelt or submitted himself to Jesus, aware of his need for healing. But only then was he healed and able to truly experience just how broken he had been. I think there's a real lesson for us in this process. And I think the Apostle Peter knew it firsthand. Writing in his first letter to fellow followers of Jesus, Peter acknowledged the difficulty that they were experiencing at the present time of his writing, but encouraged them to continue to submit themselves to Jesus in the process. But then he explained why by writing this. Though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. Now, the point we need to focus on here is that Peter refers to this end result of their faith, specifically the salvation of their souls. Now, just a cursory reading over this statement would lead most of us to think that Peter's just simply referring to our quote-unquote ticket to heaven. Theologically, we would say he's referring to our justification. But Peter doesn't just refer to our salvation in general, which would seem to make more sense in this context. He says, or refers specifically to the salvation of our souls, using the same word that we derive our English term psyche from, or our mind. And by implication, he's saying we're receiving our right minds. Additionally, I think this is something what we're receiving, even in a present tense, as he communicates. He talks about what we're receiving in a present context, as a product of loving and trusting Jesus, or in keeping with our current metaphor, kissing the Son. So where are we going with all this? Well, simply stated, a conscious, personal, intentional surrender of our lives and our will to Jesus results in the healing of our minds. Now, while we might argue that our minds are just fine, the simple reality is that we're wired to look at ourselves and then spin or modify what we actually see. All of us are broken. And our brokenness starts to really be exposed in times or seasons such as those that we're currently in today. Hopelessness, depression, denial, manic behaviors such as compulsive spending or incessant activity, workaholism, anger, sexual immorality, anxiety, and substance abuse are all strategies that we employ to numb the pain. It's just really emotional leprosy. However, Jesus uses times like these to bring us to our knees, to the place of acknowledging our need for healing, to a willingness to kiss the Son. And that's why we can, in times like these, experience an inexpressible joy. Because instead of losing our minds in misery or numbing them, we are restored to our right minds as Jesus touches us in our submission to Him. So let me encourage you to do something today. In preparation for gathering in our bodies for worship tomorrow, find a quiet place today where you can be still for a few minutes and let out whatever it is you've been holding in. You need to cry, scream, confess, collapse, whatever it takes, do it before the Lord. Let Him touch you, and then let Him take away those drinks, those pills, that immoral relationship, those worries, or whatever else you're hanging on to numb the pain, and discover in Him that in the midst of that pain there is an opposite and equal, inexpressible, and glorious joy. And it really feels good. because it is good. And we'll pick up again next week in this story as we continue to look at Jesus and really the mind that he gives us in the midst of this present context. God bless you all. I love you. See you soon.